is Rylan Gray. Middle name's Nicholas, but Rylan Nicholas Gray. I just graduated from UCLA, and my major is political science with a concentration in American politics. Definitely needs more young Black organizers because we are often the ones that get the ball rolling. We're often the leaders of the movement. Especially really Black women have taken up the mantle. And so it's kind of important that Black male organizers kind of step in to lead with them, because Black women have always sort of been the leaders in the space for really just revolutionizing justice, equality, and things like that. So it's important now that Black men sort of come back to that forefront in a sense, because we've fallen off a little bit. So I think that it's important that we get back up there with them and help lead. I hope to apply the skills to the fellowship by really understanding and taking the history that we sort of learned, because a lot of the class was like understanding basically where you've come from to know where you're going. So being able to apply the skills and the lessons from our ancestors and the people that have sort of done this work, not sort of, but have done this work before us, and then learning from that to be better moving forward and knowing kind of those mistakes or those areas to improve on, so that way we can make sure to cut down on those things and be more effective. And then the things that they succeeded on and the things that they did right, to double down on those and to move forward in those aspects. So definitely just taking the lessons and moving forward. I definitely think that we should be prepared for this sort of, we live in a unprecedented time, both in like the scope of history, but also sort of the regressive forces that are trying to like roll things back. So I think that we have to be ready to kind of fight for things that we thought were settled or that we feel are just regular commonplace now, that are trying to be taken away from us. So I think workers' rights, that's something that I've really lacked pretty much this entire time, but it's sort of getting back into that movement and pushing those things forward. The fight for 15, even now, like $15 doesn't seem like enough currently, but making sure that we're progressing, because we've kind of gotten complacent. We got a lot of victories from our forefathers, you know, the 60s, the 50s, like there were amazing strides. And so it was like, oh, the work is done, but it's not. And it's kind of not getting fatigued with having to keep fighting for those things and to make progress and to move forward. So I think that it's just being prepared to kind of double back on things that we thought were settled and making sure that we have them. Because I'd say younger generations, like there are things that we're used to. So not letting the elders, in a sense, sort of take those away, or really old white folks try to double back and take that stuff away from us. So we have to make sure that like we're pushing on that and keeping up with it. As an organizer, I would definitely want the whole world to know that we are stronger together, no matter, especially, I know the world, but like just looking at it from an American's perspective, we have this idea of sort of like rugged individualism and like the bootstrap mentality, but that's really a divide and conquer strategy. I want everybody to know that we are stronger together, like global Blackness. Like if we come together, we can transform the systems and make the world better for all of us and make it more equitable for all of us. So just remembering that we all have commonalities and that we have to come together, because if they can, they'll definitely say, oh, well, this person has that or that. So it's remembering that we have one common goal, and not really an enemy, but somebody trying to hold us all down. So we need to come together and face that, because if they can keep dividing us, they will. I would say that just letting people know, especially the younger folks coming up under me, and that sounds crazy because I'm only 22, but people coming up under me, that the work is tough, and I won't sugarcoat it, but it's definitely rewarding. And just meeting peers and people with experiences like yours and people with experiences completely different from yours opens your mind and your eyes up to things that you never would have thought of. And it gives you a better perspective and allows you to fight for things and people that you necessarily wouldn't think of initially. And so just understanding that there's a larger world outside of yourself, and using those experiences to fight for you and those like you and those that aren't like you. Because in the end, if we don't all win, then what's the point, you know?